Hello Cancer, my name is Jason. Thank you for visiting my channel, or special thanks if you're revisiting my channel. This is your general tarot reading for the second half of December 2018. Could be about love, relationships generally, something about work, your career, any projects you've got on, any questions you have at the forefront of your mind. And time is fluid, so this could be a few days, a couple of weeks, either side of the date stamped on here, or if you stumble across this a couple of years after publication, it may just resonate for you. Okay, you go into the second half of December with the Nine of Swords. So is there something which has been keeping you awake at night? Perhaps there's been some issue which has just been niggling away at you, and if it hasn't been keeping you awake per se, it's just been a worry and it's been there for quite a while. Now I'm thinking 9 months, 9 weeks, 9 years, hopefully not. But anyway, it's something that's just been chipping away at you for a while. Let's have a look. We'll clarify these later. Your challenge for the second half of December is represented by the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands is about standing your ground and being firm. Look, if you have a look at this character behind him there, you'll see those shadows. For me, they are saying they are his spirit guides, and he is divinely inspired to stand his ground on whatever this issue is that he's fighting for or against. Okay, so he certainly has the moral high ground. You'll see those other people are down below him. He certainly feels in a position of, if not strength, that he deserves to be where he is, and he'll be defending that. And so that's a good position to be in. We'll find out a bit more about that later. Your fears for the second half of December, you have here the Three of Swords. Now, the Three of Swords is can be a card of feeling betrayed. It's a card of third energy, which might be interfering with something somewhere. And because this is in your fears position, it may not necessarily be something which is actually happening. It could just be a mindset that you have. We'll clarify that also. The best attitude for you to take for the second half of December is represented by the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords shows us that there are no more swords left. They're all in there. There's only one way up now. So the best attitude for you to take is to realise that things are about as low as they can be in a certain situation, and it's time to get up and move on. So see that the cycle has ended. Okay, so look towards things as being ready for a fresh start. Okay, and generally after the Ten of Swords, something really strong, much stronger and much fresher comes along. New situation. Now, your outcome at the end of the month of December, you have the Page of Shields, which is the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so this could be a financial opportunity somewhere. So perhaps there could be an offer of a job, an offer of a contract. I'm feeling someone may even actually ring you up and out of the blue, and this might be a surprise, and it'll be some kind of offer to do with material gain. So perhaps someone will be offering you a special deal on something. So someone you know, they may have heard that you're looking for a car or for some kind of furniture, or you're looking for a contractor or something, and they know about someone who has a special deal to offer, and it might be worth taking up. Okay, if not that, it's an opportunity for you in the material realm, and it could have something to do with this thing which has been keeping you up for a long time. Okay, so at the end of December, Cancer, there could be an offer coming your way which could open up a lot of opportunities for you. But let's clarify a couple of these cards here. Why is the Nine of Swords here for Cancer? So what has been keeping Cancer awake at night? What's been bugging them? Okay, What's been this thing which has just been going on for such a long time now, which it really just has to end, okay? Please clarify the Nine of Swords for Cancer. Okay, and you have the Nine of Cups. Okay, this is the Wish Come True card. So you have a 9 and a 9. So the Nine of Cups is generally about something which has, it's just about come to fruition. Okay, so you've been worried about something, waiting for something, okay, and it's finally just starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel here. And this Nine of Cauldrons, this Nine of Cups is saying, oh, finally my wishes come true. Finally, you've just about got an outcome here, just a little bit longer, but you're heading in the right direction now. It's like something's been resolved now, and you might just have to wait a little bit longer for it to become official, I'm seeing. So it's looking actually quite optimistic that you've started this period in this state where you're starting to lose a bit too much sleep about it, and then it's like you're going to get some news, but all the news hasn't come out yet. But it's a little hint that things are working in your favour. Okay. See if we can clarify this a little bit more. Why is the Nine of Cups here? Why is the Nine of Cauldrons here for Cancer in the present position? You have here, okay, the Six of Wands. This is a card of victory. Yes, Cancer, finally, whatever this is that has been just dragging you down, you've got some recognition now. It's been recognised. Whatever this problem was, whatever this hurt was that had happened, which was keeping you awake, this dilemma, you've either taken the victory for yourself in the form of making a clear decision, or if this was a legal decision, perhaps, yes, you've finally got the recognition that you deserve, that you feel that you've been waiting for all this time, and going together with this Wish Come True card, finally. Okay, I'm not being drawn to take any more cards for that, but it looks like there's some victory coming to you towards the end of this year. Now, if it's not this year, it's looking like early next year, but you'll be getting word about it this year, or signals which are heading towards victory. So that's looking very, very positive. But because you have the Seven of Wands in your challenge position, things aren't over yet, okay? So you might be feeling victorious, but there still may be some battle to fight, okay? Something to stand your ground against. For example, this victory you have, maybe there's an offer coming to you, but it's not quite enough, or too little, or it's halfway there, but you need to fight for a little more as a matter of principle or a matter of ground. Now you've got two cards here to clarify the Seven of Wands. Okay, so you've got the Five of Wands and the Knight of Swords. Okay, so the Five of Wands here talks about quite often it's bickering, small bickering about money. If you have a look in the back of one of those people, you see I'm seeing a pentacle there. I'm wondering if this is about money, squabbling or quibbling about money, people maybe just fighting for the sake of fighting, when really the result will still be the same. And I can't see that this is a big deal. I'm thinking perhaps this is even internal conflict. So see how these people all look the same? Perhaps it's one person fighting with themselves about a decision. So should they accept this offer that's coming in, or should they just take it and go, or should they wait for something else, something like that? Okay, so you see, could be internal conflict. Okay, it's not like anyone's really trying to harm each other there. It's just really just a small question which doesn't really have to do with real principle. But also which came out when that flew out is the Knight of Swords. Okay, so this could be a legal matter here, so there could be a lawyer involved. Knight of Swords can quite often be a lawyer bringing a message, and they could have some challenging news because it's in the challenge position, or it could just be some news which requires you to do a little bit more work to communicate a certain way. So you might be getting some advice from a legal person or some person of authorities, something to do with the law, and they might be asking you to communicate a certain way, or to hold something back, or to put something forward, something like that. And it might be a little bit tricky, and it might even cause you, as I say here, to have some internal conflict about that. Okay, you may be wanting to stand your ground here as a matter of principle, to take the moral high ground, but then there might be some struggling here with this legal person, something like that. Okay. But it's not necessarily looking like bad news. It just looks like challenging communication, something which needs to be worked through. So even though the Six of Wands talks about victory here, you're still being asked to fight the good fight somehow and stick with it. So as I said, it's not quite over yet. You still might be needing to stand your ground somehow. Now, in your fears position, remember we had the Three of Swords, which quite often indicates a sense of betrayal here. So it's a fear, and you may be fearing that some unseen power may be coming in and taking what's rightfully yours, or robbing you somehow. But this is just a fear, remember. Because something is coming to a head now, you might be feeling that it's like you're almost at the finish line, but oh no, what if something happens? What if someone runs across the racetrack or something like that to make you stumble? Or let's hope not. But remember, it's just a fear. So see if we can clarify what is Cancer afraid of with the Three of Swords. Please clarify the Three of Swords and the fears position for Cancer. We have here, yeah, okay, so the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands talks about communication, a kind of you're a bit worried about hearing bad news, so you're a bit worried about hearing bad news, okay? So this is news, and this is bad news. See that? And so that's what you're worried about. You're worried about getting some bad news through whatever this communication from this legal entity is. Again, it's just a fear. Let's talk about the best attitude to take. Now, the best attitude to take, as we saw with the Ten of Swords, is look, the hardest part of the struggle is over. There are no more swords left which can go in. So just keep that in mind, okay? There are no more swords. The only way is up from here, all right? If you're losing hope, stick with it. Let's have a look. How can we clarify? Please clarify the Ten of Swords for Cancer. The best attitude position. Best attitude is to see things as not being able to get any worse, can only get better. And you have here the Seven of Swords. Okay, so the Seven of Swords usually talks about deception. It talks about not taking responsibility. Now, because this is in the best attitude position, and it looks like there's some legal issue here, you don't want to give too much away, okay? So even though I don't think you've done anything wrong here, or you're not doing anything wrong, sometimes we can just talk too much, okay? So you'll see here, this is a sword. There are a lot of swords here. We have the Ten of Swords, and we have the Seven of Swords here. Okay, they can be pretty gruesome cards. You've got the Knight of Swords here in the challenge. You've got the Three of Swords here in the fuse position, and you're starting the reading with the 9 of Swords. So the swords generally represent communication. So there's a lot of communication here, but it's not very clear communication. Okay, so someone said something pretty horrible. That's clear. There's definitely a sense of betrayal, a sense of foreboding about some betrayal somewhere. There's a sense of deception here with this 7 of Swords here, with someone trying to get away with something. Because that's in the best attitude position, I'm getting the idea, just don't give away too much. That's all. Okay, I don't think it's not asking you to be deceptive. It's just don't give away too much. Okay. So a lot of swords in here, a lot of communication, plus the 8 of Wands, which is a communication card. So plenty here. So the best attitude you have. Let's see if we can clarify here the 7 of Swords and the 10 of Swords here. That's wondering why the 7 of Swords is here in the best attitude position for Cancer. Please clarify the 7 of Swords, the best attitude. And believe it or not, you have more swords, the Page of Swords. Okay. The Page of Swords generally can talk about someone spying on you, perhaps. Okay, but because this is in the best attitude position, it's not about going and spying on someone. It's about watching your communication. Now, the Page of Swords can be quite naive. Sometimes they can speak without thinking. So just be careful about how you are communicating. Be very careful with the words that you're using. Okay, so a lot of swords in this situation here, and swords can cut. Remember that. They are just words and thought and messages. Let's have a look and see with the outcome with the Page of Shields, the Page of Pentacles. Why is the Page of Pentacles here? So at the end of it, Page of Pentacles talks about some kind of offer. It's an offer which is not necessarily a big offer. It can be. It can lead to something long-term and stable. But is it necessarily? I'm not feeling that you will want this offer necessarily unless it's exactly right for you, because you already know what you want. You've been sitting on this for weeks, if not months now, and you've decided very clearly what you want here. And we'll have a look here and see why is the Page of Swords here. The Page of Pentacles here for Cancer in the outcome position. Please clarify the Page of Swords, Page of Shields. You have here 4 of Wands. Okay, that's what you want. You've decided you want this 4 of Wands. You want this happy home. You want this celebration. The 4 of Wands is a card of celebration. It's a card of getting what you want. It's ultimate fulfillment. And you've decided that you don't want anything less. Okay, so the Page of Shields, though, is saying that this offer coming to you can really lead to this. So it's looking like if there's an offer made to you, it's a good idea to take it, and it'll give you that celebration and sense of security and happiness that can set you up for a long, long time as far as abundance and feeling truly complete in that home sense. Okay, so it will be good for your home environment to have this 4 of Wands. Okay, so Cancer, I hope that's resonated for you. It looks like some challenging aspects there with a lot of communication, and you just need to be very careful with the communications. Please like and subscribe. Please comment. Let me know how this resonates for you. I'll try and get another reading out for Christmas time. Until then, please have a nice time.